is that it is a fact that we were brought here for economic reasons, and that was to pick cotton, and not because there was any inherent hatred in the nature of the white slave masters. Historically, all ethnic groups that have come to this country have been brought here for a political reason, like the Chinese. If they didn't have railroads to build, they wouldn't need the Chinese. It's quite the same in the case of black people. No cotton, they wouldn't have needed us, and we would have been just an additional burden. The reason that black people eat chitlins and sing the blues is not because we were wild about cheap meat and sad music, but because our economic base dictated it.
If the pig power structure didn't have the cotton, they wouldn't have needed us. The question was economics. The question was economics.
Capitalism is the disease of mankind that allows 5% of all the people to control 95% of all the wealth. Greed is the purpose. Racism is the excuse.
Racism could be traced back in this country to the fact that in order to legitimize free labor and the types of things that were done to keep black people continually working on these plantations for free, it was necessary to say that black people were, inferior and so forth and so on. And all these racist ideas came out of the need to perpetuate a certain type of society and not having the ability to do that other than through slavery.
Have you ever stood in the darkness of night, screaming silently, you're a man? Have you ever hoped that a time would come when your voice could be heard in a noonday sun? Have you waited so long till your unheard song has stripped away your very soul? Well then believe it, my friend, that this silence can end. We'll just have to get guns and be men.
This rally is important because this is where the Black Panther Party, Black People's Party, gives you or allows you to hear our programs, the constructive programs that we have for the black community, which the racist press does not want to let you hear. All they want you to hear is guns. All they want you to hear is about black people running down the street, see, doing nothing, just running wild. Well, that's not what it is at all. It's not what it is at all. It's time that black people begin to wake up, that all Americans begin to wake up, because it's getting very, very late. They have concentration camps ready. It's not going to be just black people in there. They're going to be putting all people who are trying to work for their own liberation, who are trying to control their own community. It's important that people understand that. It's important that black people get together.
The US organization shot John Huggins in the back and shot Bunchy Carter in the chest, and they were dead. Two of our brothers who were our leaders and who were beautiful, beautiful men were shot down by pigs, and they were not white pigs, and they were not uniform pigs, they were black pigs.
Ron Kareem was so pregnant with visions of power that he went so far as to have two of his bacon strip lackeys assassinated. The Deputy Minister of Defense, our Apprentice Bunchy Carter, and the Deputy Minister of Information, John Jerome Huggins.
Rockefeller's the same one who gave the gas stations to Ron Kareem and them under the name of some kind of black pride. As long as it's pro-capitalist, pro-imperialist, well, it was quite all right.
This isn't a thing between the Panthers and us. This is a thing between us and the black community. And this must be understood. And I blame black community for letting this thing happen to the Panthers. Because when we sat back and let them pinpoint the Panthers and rip them off and we didn't do anything about it, this is what gave them the go-ahead signal to keep on.
We know that when you step out and stick your neck out, you only have one thing coming. There's only one demand that you can put out. And it was put out by Che Guevara, and I want to quote him when he says that wherever death may surprise us, it will be welcome, provided that this, our battle cry, reaches some receptive ear, that another hand reaches out to pick up weapons and that other fighting men come forward to intone our funeral dirge to the staccato of machine guns and new cries of battle and victory. All power to the people. All power to the people.
When we were in Scandinavia, and we told the people about our free breakfast for children programs that we had going in the ghettos, you know what they would ask us? They would say, will you feed white kids too? We feed hungry kids. We feed hungry children who are raised in the richest nation on earth. We feed children in a country where the farmers are paid not to grow wheat. We feed any hungry children in a country that pours milk in the ocean to keep the price up. We feed any hungry children in a country that destroys butter to keep the price up.
This system is the #1 obstacle to human progress on the face of the planet Earth. That's what it is. They have an old saying that our ruling class never learns anything from the lessons of history. And I think that we have ample evidence that this is true. That in the face of a worldwide uprising of the people against exploitation, against imperialism, against racism, we say that the people must rise up against this, take an unyielding stand against it, no matter what the price.
On December 8, 1969, 300 Los Angeles police made a highly organized, premeditated attack on the central office of the Black Panther Party. People in the community and black and white people all over the country recognized that this wasn't an isolated attack on one organization, but on all black people and all oppressed people. The Panthers have tried to draw oppressed people together. The Panthers were never racist. They always talked about oppressed versus ruling class, not black versus white. With their program of free breakfast, free clinics, and free clothes, they've started to teach the people that they'll never have enough food, clothes, shelter, and medicine under a system controlled by a small minority for their own profit, not for the good of the people. Finally, the Panthers talked to the people about armed self-defense, about how they shouldn't be afraid of the cops, the employees of the ruling class, just because they have guns. That's why the bosses are afraid of the Panthers. They talk against racism, about poverty, and for revolution. People everywhere have to understand that an attack on some oppressed people is an attack on all, and further, that an attack on their organizers is an attack on their right to defend themselves against repression. We have to begin to see that we can't believe the false hope that the ruling class talks about, that the system can actually serve us. We have to see that the true hope is a revolution to take power away from them, a revolution of oppressed people everywhere led by the working class.
That dignity, not just equality, is what makes a man a man. And so you laugh at laws passed by a silly lot that tell you to give thanks for what you've already got. And you can't go on with this time-worn song that just won't change the way you feel. Well, you believe it, my friend, that this silence can end. We'll just have to get guns and be men.
And we dig on all the people that held up the light before. Marx, Lenin, Stalin, Lumumba, Malcolm. And flesh of our flesh and blood of our blood, those brothers and sisters that are doing it in Africa, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Guinea-Bissau, Angola, and our comrades in arms in Asia and Latin America.
Chairman Mao says that Leninism teaches that the world revolution can only succeed if the working class of the capitalist countries supports the struggle for liberation of the colonial and semi-colonial peoples of the world, and if the working class of the colonies and semi-colonies support the liberation struggle of the working class of the capitalist countries.
One after another, the oppressed peoples of the world have seen that in order to throw off the exploitation by the big bosses of the U.S. and other imperialist nations, in order to survive and to live like human beings, they've had to organize their fight. They've succeeded only by uniting on the basis of complete equality. The oppression of one nationality, one color, one sex by another strengthens the ability of the imperialists to dominate workers and other oppressed people by dividing them. Working people here have to look to the liberation struggles of the nations of Asia, Africa, and Latin America as models and begin to fight against all the ideas and inequalities that weaken our ranks. We have to unite with the workers and other oppressed peoples of these nations fighting for their liberation against our common enemy. And here in the U.S., we have to unite as one people led by the working class, black, brown, yellow, red, and white, man and woman.
Yes, it's time you know who you really are and not try whitewash the truth. You're a man, you see, and a man must be whatever he'll be, or he won't be free. If he's bound up tight